invite back.
All right, good morning Alta Realty agents. This is Kevin Lauren, the Director of Training and Marketing here. And today we're going to be joined by Eric Hungerly from Ticor Title. Good morning, Eric. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Kevin. Thank you. Thanks for the invite back this morning.
Yeah, for sure. So before we get involved with your presentation, we're going to have Bill Seitz from Cleary Mortgage join us. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Eric.
Morning.
And then, of course, let me also bring on Cameron Alley. One sec. All right. Good morning, Cameron. How are you doing today?
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to all.
Hump day.
Right. It is. We've reached the hump. So perfect. So first of all, thanks everybody for joining us. We always appreciate everybody taking the time to come onto the webinar, learn a little bit more about how to grow the business. And even though they're quick, they're usually really good to just get your brain going in the right direction. So congratulations for everyone to making it here. And then Cameron, if you want to start us off, that'd be great.
Yep, you got it, guys. So really good news as far as rates today. 10-year treasuries at 1.5. As this morning, it was down all the way to 1.47 due to trade deficit issues. So, you know, not necessarily good for the economy, but good for rates. And I sent Bill a rate forecast that I found that says that the trend is most likely going to continue through 2021 and rates should stay pretty low, which is kind of unprecedented with when you see inflation, usually they bring up those rates. So we'll see how that goes. But as far as us for our market, it's good news with rates staying low. So and then I wanted to talk about today just some things that can help everybody close deals faster. On the LO side as well as the realtor side. We got here another slide here. I know last week I showed you the 3-day clear to close with no appraisal. This is another purchase we did for an Alta agent that we got an 8-day clear to close. And this one was with an appraisal with a full verification of employment. So pretty much the whole shebang was needed to close this loan, but we got a rush on the appraisal and still got an 8-day clear to close, which is pretty incredible, especially with a lot of the appraisal issues that the industry is having. We try to stay away from those issues by ordering rushes on these appraisals, and it's obviously really working. And let me add too, this is with a day or two of tech issues that UWM was having that we couldn't get the CTC earlier. So it really would have been like a 6-day, but anyway, so ways to close deals faster. There's a lot of things that you know, obviously most of this is going to be in the hands of whoever you're working with as far as the loan officer. But one thing you want to do is obviously plan ahead and know your borrowers. So let's say, you know, we have a borrower who's trying to buy a home and they're self-employed. The job of the loan officer, right when they hear, you know, what their income is to already start getting documents they need to clear conditions before we even get an approval. Because most of the time, you know, we do so many loans, we know exactly what we're going to need to close that loan. So for example, if I was working with your client and they're self-employed and you know, I work up a pre-approval with them, when I'm sending out that pre-approval, I'm already asking for what I need to close that loan ahead of time. 2 reasons. One, because the client is going to be a heck of a lot happier with closing that loan faster by me getting those extra documents and doing that work than if I just, you know, waited 2 weeks and was like, okay, now I need this, and, you know, might catch them off guard. So there's a lot of things that you can do ahead of time, you know, getting information as far as contacting their supervisor to get a verification of employment in case you need that. So there's a lot of things that the LO should be doing and could be doing to help you close your deal faster from that standpoint. And then something I already touched on is order rushes. So, you know, on an appraisal right now, if there's no way I'm not ordering a rush in this market, because it's going to help your deal. It's going to make the client happier, and it's going to take away a lot of the issues that we're having with appraisers who want top dollar to get, you know, any appraisal done. So, and then another really important thing is clean submissions, which might not mean too much to you guys, but as far as an LO, when you're submitting that file to underwriting, it's our job to plan ahead and make sure that, like I said, on the first tier, planning ahead to have everything that we need to submit it to underwriting. So when we get it back, we're only going to have a couple conditions. And that really helps speed up the process. It helps simplify the process, because then you can send an email or give a call to your borrower and say, hey, good news, we're approved. I only need 4 things rather than 12 things, because I already got the rest at the beginning. So there's a lot of things that you can do to make it easier on that standpoint. And then obviously, whoever you're working with as a loan officer, one of the best things they can do is build a relationship with your client, which obviously you already are going to have a relationship with that client, but it should be mutual, on the loan officer side and the realtor side. Everyone should enjoy working together. Everyone should have a good relationship, because that's going to help them, send you stuff faster and feel like everyone's transparent, and just having a more pleasant process so that you can get more referrals and more business. And then another big one is communicating with escrow, which, making sure that you're following up on prelims and, CPLs and wirings, and because the prelim is one of the most important documents. Obviously, you guys know that in getting closed, and it's one of those that sometimes can linger. So, I try to follow up every day or two, especially when it's an escrow company that you haven't worked with before, to make sure that you're getting what you need to close it, especially in this market, because, you can miss a loan contingency because of a prelim, and you don't want that to happen. So, and then one of the big things too, when opening escrow, if you haven't communicated with the loan officer yet, or the loan officer hasn't communicated with escrow, request fees up front and CC the loan officer on that. Because if we can get those fees out as soon as we get that open escrow email and the fees are already attached, we can get loan estimate out to be signed, an accurate loan estimate to submit that loan right away. And then once again, that could cut off 2 days off of your clear to close. So moral of the story, there's lots of things that loan officers should be doing that we do over here at Clearview Mortgage that maybe other people aren't doing. And, I'm basically already working on, as soon as I talk to that client, I'm already working on closing their deal, even if we're not even submitted, and trying to get everything that I need so that we can make it nice and smooth, and get everyone more business, and have your clients be so happy that they tell their friends and family about you. So, you got anything to add to that, Bill?
No, that was a really good summary, Cameron. I just want to touch on one last thing. Cameron's getting these loans done in under. So United Wholesale, as you guys know, is our go-to, is our bread and butter, unless it's a non-QM or it's an outside the box loan. Their average closing is 14 days. The industry average is 51 days. So, we're beating. Not only are we beating the industry average, we're also beating the UWM average of 14 days with Cameron and his team. So it's just another fun fact to keep in the back of your mind when you're thinking about getting your clients pre-approved.
That's for sure, Bill. Yeah, again, we just always want to, raise the level of the whole team. And, we want you guys to have Cameron on your team. So we're raising the entire level and on all of the, the services that we're providing for our clients. So good stuff, Cameron. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yep. Thanks, Cameron.
Thanks, guys. Nice. Yep. You're very welcome.
All right. Perfect. So now let's shift to Eric. Eric is with Ticor Title, and he's going to discuss Ticor Toolbox with us. And Eric, you're able to share your screen with us, correct?
Yeah, let me see if I can do that. Host disabled participation. Are you able to make me
Yes.
host? Yeah, I gotta have.
All right, you should be able to do it now. And so Eric works very closely with Adam Cleary, and Adam unfortunately couldn't make it. He's on the road today, and I couldn't quite get him the phone login, so he's gonna not be joining us. But I did speak with him, and so I'll make sure that everybody has Adam's information in the replay when I send that back out. So
Good. Kevin, are you guys able to see my screen now? I've got Title Toolbox open.
Absolutely. Looks good.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you again for the opportunity. As Kevin said, Adam and I work closely together at Ticor Title, and we appreciate the invitation back. It was actually a year ago that we were here and shared a farm program called Ticor Tech Farm, which has continued to grow. And we've got about 4,000 users on that. But since our last presentation with your group, obviously under the COVID lockdown and so forth, the number one thing that agents have been asking for from Ticor is phone numbers and emails of their homeowners. And we have tried multiple sources trying to find the best and most accurate databases for our clients. And Ticor Toolbox has been that go-to. So for about 2 years now, we've been referring our clients here and have not had a single complaint. So I'm going to log in real quick. And I'm just going to basically walk you through. There are 2 ways that you would come in and create a farm, if you will. And you can do that either by, I'm going to click on the left side here. You can do that by a radius or a boundary search. So a boundary search is if you know the 4 adjoining streets or boundaries of that, you would use your polygon to outline that. For illustration purposes, I'm going to go into radius. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in an address of, let's say, for example, a property that is in a farm area or an area that I want to get phone numbers and emails around. So when I clicked on farming in the upper left and then radius, it gave me that dialog box. I put in 2071 La Colina, and it dropped me right into the area that I want to gather these phone numbers and emails for. It's dropped a pin on the map. If I click on that, it's now giving me 2 colored pins. And as you can see in the upper left corner here, it's always defaulting to about 2,600 feet. Now I can expand that or I can reduce that depending on the count. So if I were to just pull 1 pin out, I can expand that. I've also got in the upper left corner a real quick reference to just say, give me 1 mile, 2, 3, 4, 5 mile radius of that property, and I can continue from there. So I'm going to expand this, and let's say that is the radius of the area that I want. If that's good for me, I'm going to click in the upper, right in the middle here, the green button that says next. Once I do that, it's going to open up some other search parameters. Now I can quickly go to premium data, but I'm going to go through a little bit of this just so you kind of get an idea. So if I go to general, I can narrow down to just owner occupied. I can say owner occupied, yes. I can go on to property characteristics. You can see that it always defaults to single family and condominium. But let's say, for example, all you want is single family. I can easily close off and eliminate the condos. I can easily add it back in. I can move on to assessment and taxes. So say, for example, I wanted to go and target people with a certain purchase price or a certain assessed value or improvement value. I can even target people with delinquent taxes. So I've got additional filter options. I move on to other, and I can do this by carrier route. I can do this by track number. If I continue and go into custom filters, there's also a feature in here for next seller. So this is something that's very popular in a variety of programs, and these companies have gotten very good with the algorithms in determining model match, square footage, last sale, comps, area, location, equity in the property to determine who is most likely to list. And this one is in the next 12 to 24 months. So if I selected yes, give me everybody that's most likely to sell or list in the next 12 to 24 months, I've completed my additional filters. And if I click on now in the upper right corner, the premier data, I've got some options here, and I'm going to click on phones and emails, which is a part of this as well. And as you can see, it's going to match roughly 75% of the properties that fall under my search criteria for an email at 5 cents. Phone numbers match at 35% and cost 7 cents. I've got the option to purchase just phones, emails, or both. And I'll go ahead and hit get count, which is what I would do right here. So based on my search parameters for the area, it's now going to locate all of those properties for me and give me a count. So 46 people matched in that. I can easily exit out if I wanted to right here and go back. It would drop me right back into my map where my pins are. If 46 properties weren't enough, I can take that radius, expand that pin, and start to move that out, go through this process again and get a new count. So you can always continue to manipulate this based on what your needs are. So right here, it's telling me 46 properties matched that criteria, and it's roughly going to charge me about $5.52 for phone numbers and emails. It hasn't run the data yet. So we know that this dollar amount will probably go down because, again, it's 75% match on phones, 35% match on or phones and emails. So this number might go down. It's assuming right now it's going to match 100 because it actually hasn't run the data. I would hit pay now to run that data. It's going to charge you at the full amount, but as it states right here, it will obviously provide a refund if there's not a total match for everything. What happens is, I'm going to close this out. Every time you complete that process, if you go back into farming, come down here to saved farms, it's going to show you all the farms that you might have in there. And let's say, for example, this was the purchase that I just made. It comes over with an unusual name, purchases of 171. This was obviously one that I already did, but this would, say purchases of 46 premium records. What does that really mean? So I can click the gear box right here. I can come in and I can rename that farm. So now that might be, Terrace or Dolphin Streets, phone numbers and emails, June of 2021, whatever you want to rename that, because obviously as you use those, maybe you haven't been in Toolbox for a while, you want to come back, you want to name that something that's going to refresh your memory of just what that database is. So you can constantly change and rename that. And what would happen is if you click that same gear wheel and hit select, I can now open that farm up, and now I can start to see the property records, and I can start to come over and scroll, and I can start to see, what was purchased. So here's the phone numbers. I'm not sure if I did emails. This might have just been phone numbers only in this sample, but I've got those right there. I can come up and hit export, and I can put that into CSV. Corfac, many of our clients use Corfac for their printing. It'll drop it right into their format, send it over. If you're using Facebook Ad Manager, it'll put it into the Facebook audience format for you. So you've got different output options. So that's been our best source.
Really cool. If I could stop you really quick, because we've been talking a lot about, those Facebook custom lists. And so this actually exports that in the exact CSV file format that you want, or that Facebook requires in order to create that custom list.
Yeah, so it saves you, saves you a little bit of the dirty work, and then you can upload that into your ad manager and go from there. So yeah, a couple of different outputs there.
Yeah, Charles Barnes is on the line. He and I have been doing that. So Charles, that's pretty fantastic, huh, buddy? All right, go ahead.
So one last thing I'll close with here is I said last year when we were here, I went into Tech Farm. If any of you are using Tech Farm and have farms in there and you want that same farm to be put into Toolbox so you can get the phone numbers and so forth, there's a share button right off to the side. You can export that into CSV. You can send it to me. I'm more than happy to help you go in here, move the data. We'll reformat it from Toolbox from Tech Farm. We'll reformat it for the right format for Toolbox, and then we'll upload it into your Toolbox account. So you don't have to go in and recreate a farm. If you've got a farm in Tech Farm, we're happy to show you how to export that and put it right into your Toolbox account, and then you're up and running, and you don't have to go through that initial radius or boundary search, do your criteria. We can help you upload those and put those right in. We'll then show you how to go over to the Premier data and purchase your phone numbers and emails. So we'll help you with that heavy lifting.
Oh, that's fantastic, Eric.
Yeah, so that's it. If there's any other questions or anything, that's really pretty much it. It's very simple. Adam and I are happy to, to do this one-on-one, walk anybody through if they have any questions or any challenges. If anybody wants a Toolbox account, let me know. I'll be happy to set them up. The system will automatically send them a temporary password and their username, and then they have access to it, can start playing around.
Yeah, so a couple questions. So first of all, and also guys, of course, we have the chat box. Throw any questions there, also the Q&A. any questions that we have for Eric. My question is, what's the process? Do we want to put people in contact with Adam first, or put people in contact with you first? What would be the process?
Yeah, since you're going to send out Adam's contact information, let's make it simple for everybody. Send those over to Adam. Adam and I work closely behind the scenes. He knows if he needs my help, he'll shoot it over to me, and we'll get your clients and your agents taken care of.
Okay, perfect. And so again, guys, we talk so much about using these tools in order to stay top of mind. I've got a cool little anecdote. One of our agents, Kim Lugo, she's new to social media and marketing the way that we're doing things. And so she's finally like, okay, I'm going to start doing this stuff. And she started doing her weekly posts on Facebook. Sure enough, one of her friends saw one of her posts and gave her a call and said, you know what, I almost forgot that you did real estate. And I was literally just about to call somebody else, and I saw your post and it reminded me. Thank you so much for reminding me that you do real estate. And I thought that was, it's exactly what we train on, every week, is staying top of mind and being that, non-secret agent, and letting everybody know that we do business, right? So Eric, this kind of using these tools and putting this stuff into Facebook, and using all the tools in conjunction with one another, that's how we're going to be successful.
Yeah, agree 100%. Yep.
So
Eric, I got a question for you. This is Bill.
Go for it, Bill.
Have you seen a fall off on agents farming due to the COVID? The last 14 months or so. Do you see that it's they're pulling back on maybe doing some of that traditional farming stuff? And if so, is there additional opportunities for people to get back to doing some of that canvassing through the neighborhoods that they are targeting?
It's a good question. We saw a shift in the way people were farming. January and February of 2020, I was doing most of my farming presentations using our Walking Farm app. Everybody was getting back to door knocking. Everybody wanted to be face to face. And then March and April happened. So they pulled back from that, and they started doing more social selling. So they really enhanced their online presence and continue to do so. So they farmed a little bit more social media wise. And then about, third quarter of last year, everybody shifted more towards the phone numbers and emails, wanted to reach out that way. And now this year I'm doing 10 farming presentations a week. So I don't think people have pulled back on their farming. They've just done it a little bit differently. It went to social. They've continued with social. It shifted over to phones and emails because they couldn't door knock or drop mail anymore. People are now getting back to that. We're starting to do walking farm apps again. So I think as things loosen up, people are now going back to maybe some of the traditional ways. So people have been very active. It was just a little bit more social, a little bit more phone and email. Now it seems to be going more traditional. We're seeing more direct mail and some door knocking again.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, both of these tools are really, really important. If you haven't taken advantage of these, definitely get a hold of Adam. I'll have his information on the replay when I send it out. And of course, his information is also on our Agent Resource Center. If you just want to go into the Agent Resource Center, everybody that you need to contact is in there as well.
And I got one more question here for Eric.
Sure.
Eric, this is a pretty robust, software, which is amazing. I mean, gosh, you can do so much with it. Does it also just have the basic feature of just pulling a profile? Just you want to pull a property profile, that's it? Or is that something else?
It is. It's a profile light, if you will. But yes, you've got the ability to do net sheets. You can do property profiles. You can also come in here and pull under premium data life event leads, which are birth, deaths, divorces, NODs, that sort of thing. NAR has shown stats of the last 2 years that 22% of our sales here in Southern California stem from a life event. So you can run a farm and then you can select probate, you can select birth, death, whatever it is that you want, and you can run farms that way as well. So yeah, there's a great deal more to this. for a more lengthy conversation.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and one question from one of our agents, Andre Perez, is there a cost for Toolbox?
So the program, once we set you up, there's no cost. Run your data, create the farms, do as many net sheets, do everything that you want until you get to Premier Data. As soon as you go to Premier Data, the only thing you'll pay for are any sort of leads or phones and emails. But the data and the farm manager that you're looking at now is all at no cost.
Yeah, so the emails are 5 cents a record, is that correct?
Emails are 7, phones are 5. If you bought them both, 12 cents a record. And then some of the life events will be anywhere from 5 cents to 50 cents. I think probates, affidavits of death run about 50 cents. So any of those sort of leads you would pay for. The rest of it's free.
Yeah, that's big because we talk all about how we need to stay top of mind until there's a life event because or there's some kind of change, there's some shift, all of a sudden you need a realtor.
Yeah.
Prior to that, nobody really wants to deal with a realtor, right?
Yeah. So if you still got my screen up, I pulled the price list. So these are some of the other what we call life event leads. So everything from a Liz Pendants down to a lien, and you can see what those run right there. And an interesting note, for some reason, a lot of agents are feeling that there should be a tremendous amount of NODs right now, and then they get very frustrated when they run a farm and find that there's really none. With the forbearance plans and the extensions of those plans, and still, not being able to process, foreclosures at this point, we're really not seeing any of the NODs or trustee sales, and we don't think that will happen this year. We think that this will all be pushed into Q1 of next year, but NODs are available in there as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, Wilma Nichols says it can also pull bank-owned property.
Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, I mean, this is just another awesome way to segment your marketing. So once we have these lists, it's really cool for us to do some very laser focused marketing to that exact segment, right?
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, niche, successful agents have a niche or two and they really hit that hard.
Absolutely. Well, great. Well, Eric, really appreciate you coming on. We look forward to having you come on again. You guys are great. You're a great partner to work with. So if you guys haven't checked out both of these really important tools, please do contact Adam and we'll get you guys set up.
Yes, thank you very much. Really appreciate the opportunity. Have a great day, guys.
All right. That sounds great. And guys, get out there, make it a great week and a productive week. And we will see you guys next week on the webinar. We'll be having Lauren Nowak from TC Advantage with another really cool presentation from her. She's a great resource as well. So looking forward to her presentation next week. All right, guys. Adios, Bill.
Bye-bye, guys.